Yes?
Along, I guess, kind of those same lines, how do you get over the fear of being bad? That's your problem with writing.
Yeah.
Because you're afraid it's bad.
I wish I knew exactly how to get over that fear, because I still face it myself, particularly in working on a novel. I've got a lot of confidence now with short stories, but with the novel, as I'm writing, I'm like, oh no, is this any good? Basically, it really all boils down to the old butt-in chair thing. You need to just grind it out. The novel that I'm currently revising for my agent, I wrote over the course of about 3 months back in 2008, because basically I committed to myself, if I cannot finish a novel in by the time Worldcon starts so that I have something to pitch, then I have to accept that I'm not professional enough to work on deadline. And well, I ground it out, and the only thing that really kept me going through the middle portion of that novel, when I just thought, this is terrible, this is awful, no one is ever going to like it, was I was in an online group that was having a novel writing competition that included badges for various things. And one of the badges was wrote at least 500 words every day this week. And earning those badges each week was the only thing that kept me going through the middle of that novel. I would sit there at 11 at night and grind out 500 words just so that I could earn that badge, even though I knew that the words were terrible, it was awful, the whole novel was awful, it was a disaster. Now, once I finished the novel, I realized it really wasn't that bad. But I had to keep going through that. I had to push through that self-doubt and just keep going. So if you can find somebody that you commit to that you're going to finish a novel or something like, or just even grind out 500 words a day, something like that, to get you to push through it until eventually you start liking the novel again. I think that can help. Yes?
As an editor, when you're reading, I want to say contemporary, but with science fiction, that's kind of not the right word, but like, how important is trendiness or popularity or being contemporary?
Not important at all. I mean, I like if you take some current trends and project them out a bit into the future. So if you're writing a near future thing and your character has an iPhone, I have no problem with that. If you're writing something set 4,000 years in the future and he has an iPhone, I'm going to go, what are the chances they'll still be calling them iPhones in 4,000 years, kind of thing. Yeah, I don't think including a lot of current stuff is really all that important, unless, I mean, urban fantasy that is set in, current day sort of stuff. I can see that maybe you need to, use some telling details to show, yeah, this is just like our world except with, ghouls or whatever. But I wouldn't go overboard on it. One of the cliches you will notice a lot in far future science fiction and fantasy is the character who just happens to have a particular fondness for early 21st century music or whatever, that just happens to coincide with when the book was written. And that's a cliche. Don't do that. I actually did read a story that was submitted to Intergalactic Medicine Show where they did that and it actually worked. So yeah, you can pull it off if you do it really well. Just about any cliche you can pull off if you do it really well. You know, oh, and it was all, you know, it was what he thought was a video game was all real. Works, you know, is a cliche, but if you pull it off as well as Ender's Game, then it works. Yeah. So, okay, I think I've run over the amount of time for discussion and even break, right? So.